looked at a whole lot of photographs and you've taken lots of notes on their physical qualities, what they remind you of, and that's hopefully given you lots of possible metaphors and similes you could use, and also what those images could symbolise. So now that you've got a whole lot of material, we're going to use these to write a poem. So you're going to write this poem about one person or a number of people using the imagery from 3 or more of the photographs you've studied. And you can use free verse or follow a stricter form. Think about all the poems that we've studied already and the different forms that some of them have used. Some of them have been quite strict in their forms and others have been free verse. So really you have to think about what's going to suit your topic or subject best. And then you're going to write your draft. So before you start that, I think it might be interesting to have a look at how some other students in previous years have had a go with this, just to give you a bit of an idea. Okay, here's one by Annie, which is rather good. So you can see they had different photographs from the ones that you've had. I like to mix it up. But this one is called The Power of the Mind. You think your body seems pristine and glistening, like the sun's rays on clear ocean water. But like the never-ending rolling waves, you slowly become brainwashed. You think your eyes hold all the power over your screaming stomach, like the glare and the squawk which escapes the eagle's mouth. But like the eagle's painful claws, you defend yourself from any food cravings. You think you will be able to ignore the crazy scream for food, but like locusts destroying a farmer's crop, you want it so badly that you just take it out on others. You have the ultimate control. You think you are disgusting when you see your reflection, but like ice cracking and melting, you are breaking and slowly fading away. Okay, so you can see how this student has done a great job taking each of those images and using one per stanza. It's free verse, there's no fixed rhythm or rhyme, but there are some structural things happening which are really keeping the poem together. You would have noticed that each stanza begins with "you think." It's a clear address to the subject of the poem, which is clearly someone with anorexia. And you can see how she's used those images in terms of similes to really capture the different aspects of that person's personality. Let's have a look at another one. This one's quite cute. What she wants. The eagle-like shadow blocks the lights. She looks up to the figure's golden hair, dry as a bale of hay in Alice Springs. The towering figure speaks, squawking like a demanding baby bird wanting food. When it approaches, she feels like a group of locusts are attacking her. Her heart drops as she thinks of the consequences. She knows it isn't good enough. This daunting figure would always want the same thing from her: homework. Okay, so you can see that's a great one in terms of coming up with a fun ending, a nice shift at the end from the quite threatening opening. It's a good example of bathos, and it's where something's set up to be really momentous and then it drops down to nothing at the end and you realise just how silly the whole thing is. So again, it's free verse. Again, we've got the various images used really well to capture this threatening evil teacher who's always demanding homework of the student. We'll look at one more. I sit and watch from a distance, her cool exterior, harsh and hostile. She is completely comfortable with herself, yet everyone around shivers, struggling to survive in this scary environment. Her bright smile entices, inviting everyone to have a taste, but regretting it instantly, finding that just below that shiny red surface, the flesh is bruised and bitter. At night, she is hidden away. We do not see her, but come 9 o'clock, she blossoms. As I sit and observe, I can't help wonder, is she truly a radiant red rose, or simply a white one that was not good enough, that was lathered with paint? All the time her wings are stretched to their full span, powerful. Yet, I imagine, when she curls her wings to her sides, she is just another bird, hidden in the enormity of the forest. But she is over there with everyone, and I am sitting here. Okay, so again, a lovely use of free verse, but some really nice aspects in terms of the form. We capture that sort of bullying student, the alienated one. We see how she's used enjambment really nicely. For example, she's completely comfortable with herself, yet everyone around, then we have a new line, shivers. And you can see how that shivers, by placing it on the next line after the little pause that we get, really adds to the emphasis on that word and how striking it is. Because when we use enjambment, what we're doing is leaving a little space for the reader to predict what might be the next word. And then we fill it in and they might get their idea confirmed. But more often than not, they go, oh, that's what they're talking about. Similarly, when it says, finding that just below that shiny red surface the flesh is bruised and bitter. It's like going into the next line through that enjambment. We get to go beneath the layer of the apple's skin and find out what this student is really like. So some really nice use of enjambment, some lovely use of alliteration, struggling to survive in this scary environment. Her bright smile entices. So you can hear all those sounds work really well in this. So there are quite a few techniques she's used very successfully. So what you're going to do again is to write your own poem about one person. It could be a number of people. If this is a positive poem, like it's a lovely poem celebrating a friend or your mother for Mother's Day or something like that, feel free to say who it is. If it's a poem that's being critical of someone, and let's face it, literature is a very powerful weapon, I do not want you to name this person. That would not be a good thing, okay? So you could talk about a character type. So you can see that we've had the character with anorexia, the character who is a bully. We've got the anonymous teacher. None of those are particularly named. I've had other students who've written beautiful poems about a close friend or someone they really respect, their mother, their father, something like that, and then it's quite nice to name the person. But as I say, it a bit depends on the purpose of your poem. Okay, I think it's time for you to get on with it. Have a go, look back at your notes, and we will look at all of this in our next lesson and check how your drafts are progressing.